Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is May the 13th, 2019. Strong hand, baby. Offended by selling. Be a unique beast. Value your wealth in Bitcoin. Unconfiscatable. Personal responsibility is a new counterculture. Conviction. Okay, remember, if you're watching this tape, play it at 2x. It's more efficient that way. I want you guys to be efficient with your time. If you're watching this live, we're doing Q&A. You type in Bitcoin Meister so I see it, and I will answer your question at some point. Well, today was a fun day, wasn't it, for the fiat freaks out there? I have a new, for you fiat freaks, since March, if you valued your wealth in fiat, your Bitcoin has doubled in value. And March wasn't very long ago, was it? Time flies. That's why you don't play games with TA, with technical analysis, okay? You just have a strong hand, you hold on, and then things like that happen, okay? This is Bitcoin. And in the title of this show, it represents something I realized when I was running today. And it's for all the impulsive traders, all the people who think they're traders out there. If you're going, you can sell it for more later. It's that simple. If you care about fiat price, your Bitcoin, you can sell it for more later. And I think some people are realizing that right now. And less traders are selling their Bitcoin because they know, oh, wait a second. Why should I pay short-term capital gains taxes and make $100 on a trade? Make $100 10 days in a row on a trade because it went up or went down 10 bucks, it went up 100, all these games that they play. Why don't I just wait? Because every all-time Bitcoin high, Bitcoin has come back to. Okay, so Bitcoin's previous all-time high, what was it, 19,600? It will come back to that one day. Thus, if you wait and you sell then, you will make more fiat by waiting. It's that simple. Now, there's a lot of people who are so impatient. They couldn't wait. They need to sell. They need to sell all the darn time. They got to make $1. They got to make $10. Just wait. Just wait. Don't be impulsive. You can sell for more later. I think that'll be a new saying of mine. You can sell for more later. You can sell for more dollars later if you want to. But again, I just tell people, hold on to that Bitcoin for as long as freaking possible. All right, don't even think about selling at all. It's going to be worth more in terms of fiat. Again, you try to get as much Bitcoin as possible. But yes, it's such a simple concept, and it's true. What is it right now? It's $7,900 some dollars. In 2020, you're going to be able to sell it for more later. Why sell it now? Why sell it now? You will regret selling it at this point for $8,000 or whatever it is. So yeah, it got up to $8,000 today. Wow, that was again, it was just $4,000 in March. Just in March, and I'll say, I mean, this is what happens for you newbies out there. This happens. It doubles. There'll be days like this where it went up $1,000 today. Yes, we've been through this before. I've said it'll go down by $1,000 a day. It'll go down by a lot more one day in the future when it's worth $40,000 or whatever. So just have a strong hand. Don't FOMO sell. Don't FOMO sell on this. Fear of missing out on dollars. No. Yeah, again, there's a lot of people who think this is too good to be true. Let me sell. What's the point? You can sell it for more later. And later, again, you're going to have to understand the concept of later. It might be a year. But what's a year, dude? What's a year? And again, 2 months, since March, it's doubled in value. So what is later? You decide. And here is a tweet from Mr. Hodl. I'll call him Mr. Hold. Oh, God. He says, reminder, it took Bitcoin 3 weeks to get from $7,000 to $19,000. And that was back in 2017. And that is a nice reminder. And what's going on right now, people are not even talking about halving hype yet. We're not even, there might have been a couple of people that brought up the halving. We have not entered the halving hype realm, the run up to the halving. This is not part of the run up to the halving. This is not part of that run up. This is not part of the, at least the hype. I mean, some of what's going on, we're going to talk about China. We're going to talk about the consensus event. We're going to talk about GBTC in a second. So don't worry. I'll give you maybe some reasons. I'm not concerned about the reasons why it went to $8,100 today or whatever it went to today. I mean, the short-term reasons, at least, we shouldn't worry that much about that, because there are some basic trends that you should understand. And that's why you got into Bitcoin. So you don't really care why it goes up by 1,000 a day. You have some basic pillars of Bitcoin beliefs that you built your investment around, that you are confident in, you know, in, the institutional money coming, the halving, et cetera, and thus you expect this to happen over a period of time. So if it happens in one day, it happens in one day, but over a period of time, your strategy will be successful. Okay, Roman Q said, was reading the tea leaves and it looks like Bitcoin is forming an ascending upscale cupcake. Thinking about selling my precious Bitcoin for some alts. Thoughts? Well, actually, yeah, ascending upside cupcake. Yes. That is the newest TA analysis right there. I thought that was genius on your part, and that is freaking hilarious. Yeah, obviously, people, he is joking around, but that is a hilarious joke. No, don't FOMO on alts. I don't know how anyone could be FOMOing on alts when Bitcoin is at 60% dominance. Thank you, Roman Q. You are a great viewer of the show, always around. I appreciate it. So where were we going here? Okay, so I talked about consensus yesterday, this definitely corporate event in cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, whatever you want to call it, that's in New York, and people pay thousands of dollars to be at. And you know, if people want to do that, they can do that. Well, I said news would come out of it and it would help hype Bitcoin and crypto or whatever you want to say. And yeah, there was news coming out of there today. They time it nice. So us holders benefit from this type of stuff. They hype the Bitcoin. People pay thousands of dollars. We just hold our Bitcoin and they hype it up for us. So something that came out of there, some news, Microsoft building a decentralized ID layer on top of Bitcoin is fantastic. Note, they are not creating a new coin. And that is a big note right there. That's a tweet from Robustus. Pound that like button, by the way, people. And yeah, they're not creating their own altcoin. They're building on top of Bitcoin, another layer. Other companies will do this eventually. This is just the beginning of a trend. I think this is big news. I think it's part of the reason the price probably pumped today, but who gives a darn why the price pumped today? Then also Gemini is going to do business with Whole Foods. That came out of consensus. You know, all this corporate stuff, which is, again, they're going to have to buy Bitcoin to do all this stuff, which is great. I think that they're going to use the Gemini stable coin with that too. So maybe that's some nonsense, but hey, it hypes up Bitcoin. So, and going back to, you know, the cupcake, ascending cupcake, what, you know, TA's, their predictions, could the TA charts predict this Microsoft announcement? Microsoft doing something major with Bitcoin? No chart predicts that. But you as an individual who has confidence in the future of Bitcoin knows that companies like Microsoft, companies like Facebook are going to have to integrate Bitcoin into their business model in some way, okay? We know a chart can't tell you that. A chart can't tell you when it's going to happen, but you know it will happen eventually. Now, if you understand that that's going to happen eventually, then you better own Bitcoin. You better not be making excuses about TA this, TA that, okay? If you believe that these companies are going to buy a lot of Bitcoin one day, then you better buy it before they buy it. You better be in before they be in, or you cry and you take personal responsibility that you were a no coiner and you wanted to follow TA charts and look at hot women say it's going to go down to $1,000, and that you got some jollies out of that. And I got filthy wealthy because of it. Okay. So you got some jollies and we got wealthy. So and you'll complain and vote for some socialist or something. And you think that'll be getting back at me. You think they'll be getting back at all the people, all the long-term thinkers, electing Elizabeth Warren? You think that's some form of revenge? No, it's only going to hurt you more. We'll just move to another country with our Bitcoin, because we can just leave. You'll be stuck with the fiat dollar, the Fed coin or whatever, and getting your welfare from Elizabeth. All right, so pound that like button now. And so, okay, we talked about Microsoft and all right. Yeah. So Bitcoin Magazine had an article about the Microsoft, whatever this product is, if you care about it. I mean, again, for me, just that it's going to happen is just confirmation that, yeah, I knew. Of course, they're all going to get into Bitcoin one day. And that one day might not be till 2024, but it will come. It will come. And you better be holding it before it comes. Forbes, what is this article? Okay, this was a hilarious article from a few days ago. Bitcoin just bounced to almost $7,000. Here's why. And it made me laugh. It said Bitcoin exploded into the public consciousness in 2017, with the Bitcoin price closing from under $1,000 to almost $20,000 in under 12 months. Since then, sentiment has soured as financial institutions and major retailers failed to make moves to support Bitcoin and other major cryptocurrencies. Okay, this is a totally short-term mainstream media type of article. Short-term thinking. Oh, the major retailers didn't get in. Oh, that means it was bad. Oh, it only exploded onto the public consciousness because it got to 19K. It exploded onto the 80%ers consciousness because it got to 19K. If you would have done a little bit of research since 2013, I mean, I got in 2013. I mean, you could have found out about it in 2014, 15, 16, before it went to 20K. There were plenty of people talking about it. There was a halving. There was so much, but no, it exploded onto the, the people who watch Oprah and Ricky Lake, their consciousness when it got to 20K, okay? And so, yeah, Forbes, very nice way of putting it. Again, you'll always be behind. This is a short-term way of thinking. Oh, the financial institutions and major retailers failed to make moves to support Bitcoin. No, that doesn't. That's short. Yeah, they didn't jump in right away. They did. It takes time for these institutions to get in, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But again, I laughed at that article. They're going to tell me why it went to $7,000, and now it's at $8,000. I mean, the world changes real fast around here. It's great. I love it. It's so exciting. Pound that like button. All right, Bittrex account verification required. This was sent to me by someone. Bittrex says if you are unable to complete the enhanced verification within the next 7 days, your account will be disabled. If your account is disabled, you will need to ID verify your account and open a support request to have your account enabled. Dudes, if you're keeping stuff on Bittrex, get it off now if you don't want to do their KYC thing. They weren't strict with the KYC before. They're putting the slap down on the KYC now, okay? So there you go. And that's not a reason you don't want to be a trader because you got to give well, if you're a trader that thinks they're getting away with trading and you're not going to have to do short-term capital gains taxes, you got another thing coming to you. Even with Bittrex, dude, because they are going to get your ID now and be happily reporting every single move you ever made on there to the United States government. Have fun. Pound that like button. So, and I haven't heard anybody else mention this Bittrex thing. I assume there are a lot of people out there, even people who watch this show, who use Bittrex. So this is a newsworthy type of event. They're all going KYC. Well, all the ones that are connected to the Western world, at least. I think there'll always be Asian ones, and who knows what's next. And of course, if you don't like KYC, go BISC. Try BISC out, people. BISC needs more people on there. Something that was funny today, and more so on Saturday, that I forgot to mention. When Bitcoin would, when it was raging, 6,500 to 7,000 to 7,500, if you would go on Twitter and type in that new round number, the first thing that would come up were Bitcoin tweets. It was so funny. So today, when it got to 8,000, I typed in 8,000, and sure enough, the first stuff on Twitter are people talking about Bitcoin going up to 8,000. So I thought that was awesome. That added to the excitement of the whole. It's a feeling. of just reinforcing the strong hand. You know all along that the strong hand wins the day, and it's days like that where the weak hands are like having a heart attack. Like, oh my God, well, I thought it was going down to 1,300. Now I'm a no coiner and I got to pay $8,000 for a freaking Bitcoin. It's a good feeling. It shows that you were right. And again, there are going to be days. I mean, it could go back down to 4,500. Who knows? Long-term thinking, though. 2020 happening. This is a taste of things that come, no doubt about it. And here's another tweet. This is a charts BTC. I meant to mention this. I wanted to mention this yesterday. Bitcoin price by the 210,000 block halving cycle. So you see these lines, and it shows during each 210,000 cycle between each halving, the price of Bitcoin, and it shows the graph is each cycle on top of the other. And sure enough, you see the lines never cross because 210,000 blocks from in terms of fiat away, it's always worth more. And you can see it in this graph. It is a good graph. So if you don't understand what I just said, check out that graph. You will understand this 210,000 block halving theory even more. That every 210,000 block, no matter what day, today, whatever today is, in 210,000 blocks in the year 2023, in April of 2023, it's going to be worth more in fiat. That is what the trend has been throughout the history of Bitcoin. I wanted to say, Colonel Swan Jr., thank you for the $10, dude. He sent in the super chat $10. He said, beyond traditional currency, BTC. That's what BTC stands for. Beyond traditional cryptocurrency. So beyond traditional currency. Thank you. The best YouTube channel ever, Times Infinity says, oh my God, racism. Bitcoin Meister, that was a yawn, right? I don't know what you're really talking about. I was doing the tomahawk chop, imitating Elizabeth Warren has made false claims about her heritage. And, she's trying to pretend to be a minority when she is whiter than all white. And she should be proud to be whiter than all white. But again, in politics, you have to be it's identity politics. She tried to pretend to be something that she wasn't. I have all the respect in the world to the real Native Americans out there. I did that what the Atlanta Braves fans used to do, I guess. And I didn't want to offend anybody with that. It was it was a joke about Elizabeth Warren. So I love the Native Americans, man. They should buy some Bitcoin. Unfortunately, there are a lot. Very unfortunately, we talk about the welfare dollar and how we don't want to be stuck on the welfare dollar. A lot of Native Americans, and I've talked about this in the Beyond Bitcoin show before, live on reservations and are totally dependent. They're the poorest part of America, totally dependent on the United States government. Totally, it's a shame. Wards of the state, basically. And this is, if any you're watching, get yourself in Bitcoin. That'll get you some freedom. I think there was once, God, this is from 2013 or 2014. Someone tried to make a Native American altcoin. Can someone check that story? I remember something like that, like some type of Native American. Yeah, there was. They were doing Native American altcoin. If only the people behind that bought Bitcoin back then in 2013 and 2014. I hope they did. I really did. All right. Roman Q said, would you rather have another Bitcoin A, another Bitcoin B, expenses paid trip to Consensus 2019 with all the elites? Dude, you know the answer to that. I would rather have another Bitcoin. And that would be, especially now. Yeah, I would definitely want another Bitcoin. I don't feel like traveling on a plane to New York and hanging out. I've seen what those conferences are like. I was at one in San Francisco at the beginning of 2018. And yes, much rather have. So yeah, if someone wants to fly me to Consensus next year, just give me a Bitcoin and I'll make you a show about Consensus or something like that. I don't know. The best YouTube channel ever, Times Infinity said, I listened to Bitcoin Meister. I could have 20x my money powering down my Steam for Bitcoin. Yeah, you could have, dude. I know you've got Steam in your, and I like Steam It. You can watch this live right now on Steam It, but there have been many times when when Steam was worth a lot. I mean, it was worth like $7 and it was worth quite a bit in Bitcoin. And I was telling people, just turn this into Bitcoin, So yeah, and now it's not worth as much Bitcoin. If you value your altcoins in Bitcoin, like you should, you have lost a lot by holding on to things like Steam. And, it will pump again. It's all cyclical. And I get it for free, so it really doesn't bother me. But there are people who bought Steam. Ouch, ouch. Pound that like button for just buying Bitcoin. Earn those altcoins for free, turn them into Bitcoin. Earn those crypto dividends, turn them into Bitcoin. So yeah, you could have done. You know what? Don't say you coulda, you shoulda, you woulda. No regrets, dude. You'll do better in the future. I know you will. This is from Lawmaster. This is about GBTC, and this is actually quite important and interesting. Bitcoin inflows and the GPT. Okay. Bitcoin inflows are the amount of Bitcoin added to GBTC's holdings. They have reached an all-time high in April, signaling an increased institutional demand. In fact, Bitcoin inflows in April were 11,236 Bitcoin. It's 11,000 Bitcoin they had to buy, were approximately the same as in the previous 4 months combined. And I linked to that tweet. And then Cointelegraph also says, Grayscale reports vast majority of investments in Q1 2019 were in their Bitcoin Trust, which is GBTC. Non-Bitcoin investments included such products as Grayscale Ethereum Trust, Grayscale XRP Trust, Bcash Trust, and others, the firm explained. And those were so much smaller than what people wanted from Bitcoin. Their Bitcoin fund was dwarfed their other funds. And the big note I took out of this revelation, besides that, obviously Bitcoin is much more popular than those top tier altcoins with institutional investors. They don't know what those other things are. They want the real thing. So should you. But 11,236 Bitcoin were added to their fund in a month, and there are only 54,000 new Bitcoin were mined in April. Okay, so in terms of the percentage of new Bitcoin mined, they got over a fifth of it. So, and again, they didn't. Some they bought from. Obviously, it wasn't all the new ones, but you see what I'm trying to compare it to. There were 54,000 new Bitcoin mined in April, and a fund, just one fund, at the same time bought 11,000 Bitcoin. So, and that's just one fund. So think about the future. Think about the future when there are going to be other funds that need to buy up a bunch of Bitcoin in a month. And how many are produced in a month? In just 13 months from today, June of 2020, they're only going to be half of that amount of new Bitcoin mined in a day, whatever that is. What is that? 54,000. That's 27,000. I didn't write it. 27,000 new Bitcoin will be mined every day. In a month in June. Oh God, I'm butchering this. 27,000 new Bitcoin a day mined in June of 2020. Okay, and will GBTC still be buying 11,000 a day? What funds will be buying how much then? This is why you see these institutions are going to have to buy Bitcoin, and there's only going to be 27,000 new ones mined a month in 13 months. And we see that one institution just today is buying 11,000 a month. So this is supply and demand type of stuff, people. This is why the halving is so important. Okay, these big institutions are going to have to get their hands on it somehow, and it lends credence to the belief that these institutions and funds want to buy before the halving, before less Bitcoin is created in a month. Because here's another question. If all these institutions and funds and whatever you want to call them need to buy Bitcoin, and only 27,000 are going to be created every month, 27,000 new Bitcoin created per month after, starting in the middle of 2020, they're going to have to buy Bitcoin from you. They're going to try to convince holders to sell their Bitcoin. Okay. And that's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot for the holders of last resort to give up their Bitcoin. So what does that mean? In terms of fiat, the price is going to go up quite a bit. That's just another way of phrasing it out there, another perspective, another way of looking at what this halving is going to bring and what these institutional investment is going to bring. The best YouTube channel dude says, I'm powering down to EOS. I got EOS 50 cents. Okay, this is not a question. This is just a dude saying that he's grateful for EOS. Dude, you're wasting your time. What? I have no idea why you're in EOS. Really, I have no idea. That's just like, it's a flavor of the month, dude. You're making a tremendous mistake. I'm sorry. I wish I could confirm your bias like you want me to. I said the name of your third tier altcoin or second tier altcoin, whatever it is. So maybe that will make you happy that I said those 3 letters for you. Anyway, so yeah, don't FOMO on altcoins like that guy. And you might be, you seem like a nice guy. I mean, but I'm just giving you some tough love there. I got to smack you around a little bit. Sorry. Yeah. All right. So moving on. And speaking about big buyers, Bakkt has a new Medium post out there. Bitcoin futures and custody. Bakkt's differentiated approach. User acceptance testing for Bitcoin futures custody and trading planned for July. All right. So they're making progress in July. It's coming, people. It's coming. It's going to make a bit. They're all coming. All these institutions are coming. But if you want to read that, read it. It's linked to below. And you know what? Vinny Lingham. Look at this one. It's entirely likely that we are at the start of a recovery and then on to test new Bitcoin highs. It might take a year or so, but we're going to test 20K again at some point in the near future. Of course, Vinny, I'm glad you put it out in the words, but Bitcoin has always gone back to its old fiat high. So yes, who knows when that 20K will happen, but it will happen. Oh, we're one day closer to 20K. That's one of my sayings, dude. And again, for all you traders out there, why sell now? You can sell for more later. All right. Yeah, I noticed that Bcash went up a lot today also. Now, again, they're having a fork in a day, I guess in 24 hours or a little over 24 hours. So that's part of their hype machine. But I do wonder if some people that were buying into the Bitcoin hype today got confused and bought BCH. Dude, personal responsibility. You got to know that the BTC is the BTC. 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin. Bcash, that's like less than 5% of a Bitcoin. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Well, at least you're not BSV. Oof, pound that like button. All right. And this is something that I meant to say on Sunday. What is it? Oh, yeah. This is from BM Bernstein. China precious stones imports from Hong Kong are increasing rapidly. This isn't because of Mother's Day. It's mainly a mechanism for wealth to escape China. The BTC rally coinciding with the trade war and looming yuan devaluation is not a coincidence. I agree with that. I think some smart Chinese understand that the way things are rolling, that they're not going to be able to sell as many Chinese products in the United States anymore because they're going to cost more now because of the tariffs. So if China is bringing in less money, less revenue, that's not going to be good for China. Okay, that's not going to be good for China, and thus people are knowing their currency is going to go down the tube, that their country could go through some type of recession or political turmoil because of this trade war. The smart ones are buying some Bitcoins, trying to get their hands on Bitcoin somehow. And apparently some of the old-fashioned ones are getting their hands on gold. I mean, yeah, some people are stuck in the past. They'll learn the hard way about what digital gold is. Dude, I think that guy is like saying a lot in the chat right now. The Steam dude, the best YouTube channel ever, dude. I'm not reading it because he's not saying Bitcoin Meister or anything, but add some flavor there. I hope everyone's having fun there. I mean, I thought people would have some more questions today. It was an exciting day. I guess everyone, whatever. You don't have to have questions. So moving on. Someone just right then someone sent a question. Okay, what is this? Bitcoin Meister. This is from Josh Owens. I'm trying to convince close friends that are heavily invested in Cardano to convert to Bitcoin. What's the best argument I can use? That there's been 50 other Cardanos. All right. that it's all based on hype. When I travel around the whole world, people don't ask me about Cardano. They ask me about Bitcoin. They don't know Cardano. No one knows what that is. No one knows what that is, Josh. That's the best way you can tell those people. Like, they're living in a little bubble. They're living like, people don't even know altcoins exist. Okay, they know Bitcoin exists. They don't even, I mean, and they're always going to be people in these little cliques. They get into these circles around these altcoins and they start to convince each other they've got the next Bitcoin. They're not. No one's even heard of that thing. Okay, we know about it because we're in the crypto space and everything. Okay, but so people don't. How do you buy Cardano? Seriously, where do you buy Cardano? Can you buy it for dollars? No, I don't know a place you can buy Cardano for dollars. It's not on Coinbase yet either. Not that makes it. I mean, again, if they got out of the Coinbase, then that would be a point for them to be a top tier altcoin. They're not even a top tier altcoin. But again, it's not the real thing. Oh God. I mean, the news stories are about Bitcoin, this, Bitcoin, that. The Bitcoin takes the heat, but when things are doing well, Bitcoin gets the good stories written about it too. So no one knows what Cardano is. That's a really simple explanation you can give to them, that they're living in a little bubble. They're living in a little bubble. What's it? Who knows? Okay, this guy says, and I'm not even going to read what this guy says because, again, I haven't read all the other things that he's throwing out there, dude. If you're interested in the answer to your question, this guy says, why are you afraid to argue facts about which chain is fastest and has the most well, maybe it is. Maybe EOS is fastest. Who gives a darn about? This is not about fast, dude. It's about preserving your wealth. So all these other coins can create they can be faster, they can create a lot of fake transactions, they can do a lot of things that boost their numbers and everything, okay? To make it seem, but Bitcoin is the store of value here. It doesn't have to be fast. It's the digital gold. It's way ahead in terms of adoption. People haven't heard of your EOS. This is what I said about Cardano. People don't know about it. They're centralized. They're founders, guys who can go to jail. If they went to jail, the whole coin would fall apart, okay? There's centralized weaknesses to these things. So yeah, maybe, I don't know what's faster. Who cares what's faster, dude? Have you ever had to sell a house before? Let me ask you something, dude. Have you ever had to sell a house before and then they have to wire you the money or then closing gets delayed and this happens and this happens, and then they don't wire the money for a week? And okay, when you're talking about tremendous transactions and you're talking about waiting for a bank to wire you the money for a week or waiting 10 minutes because of Bitcoin, it's just a totally different, awesome world. So what would if you could send me Cardano in 10 seconds, what would be the difference if I'm selling a house? Okay. And so again, do people want to use crypto to buy coffee right now? No, they don't. Not at all. Not at all. And they're building a second layer solution called Lightning Network. You should look into it on top of Bitcoin. So there's a little argument right there. But we've said these things a million times, but people just can't get it through their thick skulls. That's the problem. That's the problem. So come up with something that's faster with Bitcoin. Great. No one's ever heard of it. It's never going to do anything. It's centralized. Is Bakkt and all the banks and all the institutions around the world, are they talking about Cardano? Are they talking about EOS? They've never heard of it. They probably heard of it, some of the people, but there's no interest in that type of thing. I just gave you the statistics with GBTC. All the interest was in their Bitcoin fund. People all over the world, institutions and people all over the world, buy this silly GBTC fund. They pay more. They pay more because they want the GBTC to manage their Bitcoin, to hold their Bitcoin for them. They don't know how to hold their own Bitcoin. How do you hold EOS, by the way? How do you hold Cardano? People just keep it on exchanges. It's ridiculous. There are no easy solutions out there for that type of thing. They're so way far behind. I mean, how old are you, dude? Do you even know about the .com bubble? Do you know there were all sorts of great products out there then? Okay, all sorts of things that were better than the rest. Only a few survived. Only a few were legitimate. And some, I mean, again, there's all sorts of experimentation going out there. Cardano, EOS, whatever. They're nothing but experiments. They might be around in 10 years, but there'll be nothing. There'll be nothing. Okay. All right. Venshin said. He sent $5. He said, hey, Adam, it's time to sell all our BTC, pay the IRS, and buy altcoins. Well, I think that's what some people think, Vention. But no, dudes, hang on to your Bitcoin. It is the rock. One Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. And it's slow, and that is great. 10 minutes slow. I mean, again, sell a house with Bank of America. And then how if I sold my house with Bank of America today, and then they said, oh, wait a second, we're not going to wire your money at all because you're into Bitcoin. Maybe they'll do that one day, Maybe that's why you cannot, that's why it doesn't matter. All these little perks that these altcoins have and stuff. Who gives a darn? We're talking about solving real life problems here. I mean, how do you get your money out of Zimbabwe? Do you do it with EOS? No, you do it with Bitcoin. Okay, it's absolutely it's ridiculous what these altcoiners think. They're living in these little bubbles where they're talking to each other. How much they're saying to each other over and over again how much better their altcoin is than Bitcoin. All the magical things that it can do better than Bitcoin, and it's worthless. It's worthless, all those things that they can do. It really is. Bitcoin can incorporate all those things, build it on top of second layers. And there's tens of thousands of people working on Bitcoin doing that instead of one or two or three guys, three developers working on these random altcoins out there. But hey, man, if you want to gamble and say that yours is going to be one of the top tier ones, be my guest. But over time, the value of Bitcoin, and again, you're the dude talking about Steam and stuff too. I mean, again, you bought Steam. You buy Steam and you buy EOS. Good. Just do that. Anyway. That is, I mean, it's good. It's good to hear the 80%er side of things every once in a while. These guys, they got to gamble. They got to have, and maybe the guy's not 80%er. I mean, he's buying cryptocurrencies. He's got to have some sort of a thinking brain. But it's good to hear the mentality of the gambler, of the impulsive people. They want the next big thing. Sometimes the answer is real simple, dude. It's the tortoise wins the freaking race, dude. The tortoise wins the race. That's what all these last few days haven't taught you that, dude. That eventually it all comes back to Bitcoin. Look at the Bitcoin dominance increasing. It all comes back to Bitcoin. You can have all these distractions in the world, all these pretty altcoin distractions, but in the end, it comes back to Bitcoin. Bitcoin Primitive says, Bitcoin Meister, they run their miners on AWS. Yeah, there's a lot of these altcoins that do that, and if they all of a sudden got shut down by AWS, there wouldn't be anyone mining them anymore. And that's the centralization of these altcoins and stuff. It's completely ridiculous. But people don't understand the difference. They don't understand centralization. They don't understand inflation and deflation. Some currencies can be with the 21 million cap, how important that is. If Henry Law sends a 25, and thank you, Vincent, for the support. And Henry, thank you for the 25 Hong Kong dollars. Just says, if you can't handle an 80% drop, you don't deserve a 100x gain. Pound that like button, dude. Dude, that is awesome. That is so awesome. All right, so we talked about gold, and another article, and this is a weird one by the Financial Times. They say where U.S.-China trade tensions go, Bitcoin will follow up. And he says Bitcoin is the 10-year treasury of our time. Now that title, those titles, and most people just read the titles, so that's good news for Bitcoin, and people will agree with that. And again, that goes back to what I read on Sunday about the China, what I said before. But this is now Monday, and another source is saying the China pumping Bitcoin trend. But if you read the article, they're kind of being obnoxious in the article. It's hard to tell if they're serious or not. If they're trying to rip on, I think that they're trying to rip on the Twitter ethos. It can be kind of childish on Twitter, and I think they were ripping on that. I mean, they were in a way trying to say Bitcoin isn't ready for prime time. It's hard to even say what these dudes are saying, interpret what they're even trying to say. If they're trying to be funny, or maybe they were trying to be serious. I don't know. Don't believe in central banks? No worries. Bitcoin is the U.S. 10-year treasury of the modern era. It had hit a 9-month high on Sunday of around $7,400. Enough said. So I don't know if the dudes are trying to be obnoxious or not. So we got people. What's this? Bitcoin Primitive says, Bitcoin Meister, you saw Tron CTO trashing TRX. He's going to issue his own trash coin. Yeah, I mean, I did see that. I remember when I was in San Diego, somebody asked me about Tron. I think it was about Tron. And I said, it's just the latest flavor of the month. And again, these things are centralized. And what, they end up suing each other? They end up, it's, you know, if you want to mess with that, again, it's this, you think you've got the next Bitcoin. You live in this little circle. Ooh, Tron, it's the hottest thing. And again, now, what is it? 15 months later, who talks about Tron even? What is Tron? Again, it was a flavor of the month. They all these flavor of the months. I've been through this a lot of times, dudes. Every month, someone asks me about the new flavor of the month, the new one. What's it? And I say the truth. I've seen them all. I've seen them come and go. You're living in a little bubble. If you got it for cheap, sell it for Bitcoin now. Get as much Bitcoin as possible out of it. Get the real thing. Bitcoin over ham radio, unstoppable. Yeah, you can do that too, apparently. You can do it over all sorts. That's the thing. People think you have to, you need an internet connection. There are ways. They're working on GoTenna, all this stuff. Matt Odell tweets out there. Okay, finally, a dude that's in motion. He calls himself The Halving Show. Episode 1 just came out. There's like a picture of me in it. It's funny. I like that he has something called The Halving Show. I like that he's bringing awareness to the halving, and he's starting the halving hype maybe for 2020. He's in motion. He left that in my comments, so I linked to it below. Good job, dude. Pound that like button, people. Bang that bell button to get a reminder when this show goes live. I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, Disrupt Meister. Remember to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video. Check out the links below, and I will say hi to everyone in the chat, and click on those squares that you see if you're watching this tape. Bye-bye.